I remember as a kid, every time I would leave elementary school or I would leave the daycare, they pick me up from daycare. They would give me some cool old McDonald's. I'm talking about McDonald's, give me the little double cheeseburger, no pickles, no onions, give you a little medium fry with a Sprite on the side. And it wasn't like just some one day a week type thing. It was like every single day. And McDonald's back then, they got the playground and shit. They still got the playground, but they got the playground outside or inside. So I'm a kid, so I'm in the playground having fun. Ronald McDonald, the statue. Like McDonald's was just like the prime back when I would say like 2006. I mean, it's still in its prime now, but we got a bunch of deals and, there's a bunch of speculations going on with the burger meat, which it's always been speculations. But as a kid, I'm not really thinking about that shit. I'm just so happy that I could get this double cheeseburger to eat on and these fries to eat on. And I never really understood the impact it would have on my body. Because as I continued to eat the McDonald's, the fast food, it don't even be just McDonald's. It could be Wendy's, Popeyes. I barely ate Chick-fil-A as a kid because Chick-fil-A now is like so common to me, but back then it was like such a rarity where if I did get Chick-fil-A, it was like, I know I'm only getting it like once a year or some shit like that. But, fast food is really taking a toll on me, especially as a kid. And, nowadays as well, being a college student, when you're so busy, when you got so much stuff going on with your life, or just as a grown up in general, it's very convenient. But it's not really worth just going out all the time and just spending your hard-earned money because at the end of the day, it'll all add up. Going, even if you go 3 times out of the week, it'll add up because majority of the meals, whether that's at Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, most of the meals gonna add up to about, or even cookout, shit, it'll add up to about $12, $13. And if you want to be greedy, it'll probably end up being $16, $17. Not to mention, some people like the DoorDash. DoorDashing is just the most convenient thing people do when they just don't feel like moving, they don't feel like going outside, or they just don't want to drive their car to get the food. DoorDash, Uber Eats, fast food is it's just so detrimental. And I'm not sitting up here to tell you to not eat fast food because, shit, I'm not perfect. Shit, I be going out and getting food, majority of the time. Nowadays, I definitely go to the dining hall more than ever. I go twice a day now, but I remember when I first got here, and I would say it was a point in time where I just didn't want to go to the dining hall because it's like I just felt like the dining hall food was just not good enough, and I feel like I was too good for the dining hall food. But at the end of the day, there's somebody out there who wish they would have that dining hall next to their house that they could just swipe in and just get all the food that they want. And that's what I had to learn. Like, it ain't about really what I want. It's about what's in front of me and what I need to like take advantage of. And I said this in a previous video about, abusing your college resources, but I'm not talking about that specifically. I'm just talking about fast food in general. Like, it's so detrimental to your funds, to your health. And 9 times out of 10, when we go to these fast food restaurants, these dining places, majority of the time it's fast food. Not majority of the time, it's fast food. So it's like you're getting this food, and sometimes you got workers that probably had a long day. They have cooking your shit. The fries is probably not salted all the way, and the fries probably soggy, not crispy. Some of the burger meat is looking like it's red or pink, not cooked all the way. They're giving you a hard ass bun. The lettuce is fucking stale as shit. They probably get a burger and you said no pickles, no onions. They still put pickles and onions in your shit. Like, it's so many things that come with fast food. It's like, when you start realizing that sometimes it's just not worth going out to eat, and you better off just like going grocery shopping or just cooking your own food. I feel like that's more convenient than just going out. First of all, gas is high as hell. So you're going out, you're wasting gas, and God forbid you didn't have gas to begin with. So that's another expense you have to pay for. probably putting 10 in the tank right quick to get you from where you are to the fast food restaurant, then back. Then you probably spent the food that you got from wherever it is. God forbid it's like from Chick-fil-A. Shit, your meal probably end up being about $12 to $15 if you don't have rewards. It's just, and then if you do that like 3-4 times a week, 15 times 4, that's 90 plus the tax. Shoot, that probably end up being like 98. Because meals come with tax and shit. Obviously, they gotta get paid, and so it's like it's just so convenient though, and it's just like it's even hard for me to even like talk about it because it's just like recently I just bought some food. I went out and got some food, and that shit racked up to like $15. Mind you, it's good as hell, but it's like when you get done eating it, it's like that post-nut clarity when you mess with that girl and you was just messing with her because you was horny or something. Like you just had to get your energy released. You know what I'm saying? Like you just had to because you just haven't had none in a while, and you was tired of pulling up the Safari and pulling up the tab, scrolling through the hundreds of pages just to get to that good old video. You out there gooning and shit, but the whole time like you wasn't even horny for real. You was just bored. You just didn't know. You just wasn't busy. You wasn't keeping yourself occupied, and you decided to stay up late. Now it's 2, 3 in the morning, and that girl you called at 2. With your homeboys clowning the shit out of her. Now all of a sudden she in your bedroom slopping you up and giving you some, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what buying that $15 meal worth of food at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's feel like. I'm not saying McDonald's because McDonald's ain't really, that expensive, but it is expensive because a chicken sandwich, a McCrispy chicken sandwich is like $4 or $5. But it's just like, fast food is really like, and when it comes to like the physical aspect, I forgot to even mention like the physical aspect. Like I'm gonna say for, speaking on my own experience, like when I kept eating those McDonald's meals after school, after daycare, I was putting on hella weight. Like I was a big kid, I had a, little tummy on me, you know what I'm saying? I had a little tummy on me, and it was just so bad because a kid should never have to deal with, that at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And it's not you shouldn't blame your parents because at the end of the day, they want to make sure you're well fed. They want to make sure you're well taken care of. And trust me, they're not feeding you all that food out of spite, out of harm. Obviously you want to make sure your physical health is intact, but they just want to make sure you're well fed. They don't want to, some parents, they went through so much things in life. Like, for example, my parents, they went through so much things in life that they don't want me to experience what it's like going days without eating, when sleep is the best meal. And when you got to wake up and go out and do things that you don't want to do to get money to go get your next meal or get the next pair of clothes or shoes or, want to make sure the bills is paid. Your parents is not feeding you stuff out of spite. As a kid, if you did grow up a little big, if you grew up and you was a little chubby boy, and it's not intent to harm you or nothing. But I was just saying, as a kid, I was a big boy, so the McDonald's meals caught up to me. And even when I entered college, I remember when I entered college, I wasn't that big. I was like 5'10", 210 pounds, and that's pretty big for a 5'10" dude. And, at the time, I really wasn't playing sports anymore, and I wasn't going into the gym like that. And I was grateful that I was able to go to college so I could start going to the gym whenever I feel like it so I can improve my health. But there was a point in time where, I was just going to cookout every night, funds just being, I didn't have no money. I'm talking about, and I didn't have a job at the time, so my parents is just sending me money, and that shit's just going down the drain, just killing my pockets and killing their pockets. And they're like, damn, Cedric, like, just eat at the dining hall. Like, you don't need to be eating at 3 a.m. Like, you not that hungry. And it was a point in time where I gained so much weight. Like, that freshman 15, like, it wasn't even 15. Like, it was damn near freshman 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, freshman 50. Because I remember junior year coming back home, And, I had a miserable experience in college. I was a computer science major. I was trying to, do something that I really didn't want to do, but, at the same time, it was like I want to make sure my parents were proud of me. But I was just like, my health was just deteriorated. I was 5'10", 260. I was eating cookout every night. You know what I'm saying? The Oreo mint milkshakes was catching up to me, even though those Oreo mint milkshakes good as fucking cookout. I'm sorry. And I remember people was clowning me, talking about you eating toothpaste. Yeah, kick rocks, nigga. Nigga, that's not toothpaste, nigga. That's peak. That's greatness. That's Vinland Saga. Fuck you talking about. But, you know what I'm saying? That shit was catching up to me. And I went home and I was like, this fast food and this buying shit, at 3 a.m, just so I could, hang out with the guys and feel like I'm welcome. Even though I feel welcomed, even though I don't have to spend money. It's just like, I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to be like, okay, they getting cookout shit. Why not let me get cookout? And it was killing me. It was literally giving me a big old gut. It was literally giving me man boobs. My stamina was deteriorated. I was losing my jumping skills. I was losing every athletic part of my body to the point where it was like I had to change. And nowadays, as of, April 2025, I've changed. I do eat out a little bit, but it's to the point where it's like I'm only eating out if it's like a special occasion, like if it's like once a week, probably twice a week, depending on how I felt that week, depending on if I feel like I deserve it, if I worked hard to get that Chick-fil-A meal or something like that. But majority of the time, I'm grocery shopping. I'm going to the dining halls twice a day because whether I like it or not, I have to save money and I have to eat right. I have to start doing things that's not just so convenient to the point where, I just become lazy. So if anybody's watching this video and addicted to fast food, addicted to going out and buying meals all the time and not feeling like they want to cook or get an air fryer and invest and, make their own meals, start doing stuff like that, man, because I'm telling you right now, especially if you somebody that's coming to college and you might not have a car, or even if you do have a car, you're going to try to abuse that car to, go to fast food restaurants all the time and try to eat out and stuff. Because trust me, it's tempting. I know. Trust me, it's tempting. Especially if the dining hall is closed. Try to make it to the dining hall, man. Try to eat twice a day at the dining halls when you get to college. And just be more aware of what you're doing. Be more aware of your spendings. Start budgeting. Do the right thing so you don't be so insufficient with yourself. But that's all I have for today, man. I hope everybody take care of themselves. Y'all staying up, staying motivated, staying positive, staying disciplined, staying yourself, man. Catch you on the next one. Peace.